Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to Watkins Glen as we kick off with 2024 Season 1, Round 1 of the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by Ray Esports. If you weren't with us for the Formula 4 earlier on from Watkins Glen, then you missed out on a treat. But I get the feeling that was just merely a sorbet to cleanse the palate of what we're about to see here today in the Spec Racer Fords. I am Tim Cox. Josh Wilkie in the virtual production trailer. Charles Bashal, he's back with a bang. Well, I get the feeling this is going to be a little bit special because we're running without the bus stop chicane, Charles. Without, and we've already seen in practice and qualifying, well, definitely in qualifying, drivers going 4 wide. That's qualifying when you're trying to get your best possible lap in. What are we going to see in racing conditions? Should I be scared? Should I be excited? Or should I be both?
I think a bit of both there, Tim. So thanks for having me in. Yeah, it's another new season for Spec Racers, starting with, you know, one of the best tracks on iRacing. It's one of the most used. It's one of the most popular. Watkins Glen, and you mentioned it. This is the classic boot, so no bus stop or inner loop, as they like to call it. And so yeah, 4 wide in qualifying, just jockeying for position. If you missed the Formula Ford race, we had 31 cars on track, and it was just big battles from start to finish, all over the grid. So now we're going to just up that to 50 or so cars, and we're going to add some bump drafting to go along with it. So this is going to be, you know, if we're going 4 wide in qualifying, I can just imagine what we're going to try and do during the race, especially at the sharp end of that race in the last couple of laps. What the battles are going to look like on track. It should be fantastic to watch.
I don't think there's really any should be really about it. It's going to be scintillating, to say the least. Early pace setter John Swartz, top of the pile. Chris Montgomery from Spec 2, currently on the first row with him. I mean, if you can hold on to that one. He ran well in the early stages of qualifying in Spec Racer Fords as well. Formula Fords even. So yeah, right manufacturer, just completely different car. However, can he do the same in this? I mean, there's a lot of big names yet to set solid times as they're all jockeying position. But as we saw in the Formula Fords, Charles, getting that lap together at the right time and, you know, being able to slipstream with people, so tricky, so crucial. And we've got another 20 cars out on track in comparison to what we had in the Formula Fords.
Exactly right. Yeah, Montgomery had a really good qualifying lap. I think he was in the top 5 until the last 3 or 4 minutes of qualifying. So we see Chris Murakami, that is not the way into the pits. But then he kind of got shuffled down the order as people started getting lined up and getting those good drafts and setting some really top quality laps. It shuffled him down to around 10th place, I believe, when qualifying was all said and done. But yeah, he's got a really solid lap in, and you talked about it. There's obviously some heavy hitters at here. So we've got obviously Marco Paneros at P4. I'm sure he's not done yet. And we've got some returning names also that are just high rated guys, prior championships in this series, and they really haven't shown their true pace yet.
One of them being David Gaspers. Congratulations on making it into the 10K iRacing club. To him, hasn't set. Interestingly, he's done 6 laps, not set a time. All of his time's deleted. Same goes for Stephen Mitchell and one. And they're talking about returnees. But Andreas Bertoni, that's the name we haven't seen in a very long time. With his last to first challenges, although very rarely makes it to first. Normally makes it about 20 or 30 places minimum. Does Andreas, everyone's favourite Uruguayan. Sadly, no qualifying from him. York Marnie goes top now. So we've got a Masters driver, Spec 1 driver, and a Spec 2 driver occupying top 3 spots in that respective order. I mean, if you could stay like that, I can't think of the last time I saw that, if ever.
Yeah, that'd be something special if we could keep that for the end. But like I said, I don't think that's the end result. I could be wrong, but I still think there's obviously some very fast drivers out there who've got more pace in the car. As we're running like 2:01.11 is George's time as we see cars coming into the pits, probably resetting themselves and getting some fresh tires for that last 5 minutes of qualifying to get another good lap in and see if they can change the order of qualifying before it's all over.
Seeing York Marnie there, just allowing some of the traffic past current pole sitter. And a decent margin as well. He's got around about a 10th in the bag over John Swartz. And also, I mean, Naselli, someone we haven't seen in a very long time. That's 8.3k now as well. Someone else has made real strides into their iRating. 2. Who else we've got out of position right now? It's not too bad, to be fair. This, other than realistically, Petoni, who never qualifies anyway, and Gaspers, who's looking like he's going to join him in the last to first challenge market. Everyone else is looking. Antonio Race maybe 24th. I'd say that's probably a driver. Sergio Girelli as well, maybe a bit down, but I mean equally the way this field has just got stronger and stronger as the seasons have gone by. I mean it's sort of actually it's so hard to break into that top 10. It's such a challenge.
I'm sitting here, I was about to call a name out, and then I just watched him jump from 33rd up to 11th, Hugh Simpkins, who had a couple of really strong runs last season. I just looked at him, it's like, yeah, that's a little low for him, but now he's up to P11, just outside the top 10 by, 200ths of a second is all. I'm just looking at this field, yeah, it's just stacked from top to bottom. It's just going to be a fantastic race. I can't wait to get this thing started.
If you want to go below 2,000 iRating, Charles, then you have to go to Aaron Vogelay's 25th.
Yeah.
Next one in line after that, who's below 2,000, of which most of them in that 2,000 bracket are 2.5k and above. Mm-hmm. You then got to head all the way down to Michel Vaglini, who's in 43rd. I mean, frightening stuff. I mean, it's no mean feat getting into some of these numbers. As Jesus Rodriguez, struggling qualifying in the Formula Fords, just leapt up to 7th there from that sort of midfield pack. Oh, I'm looking forward to this one, Charles. We said earlier, well, you said earlier, you've got bump drafting in these to add to the excitement and the drama that we saw for the Formula Fords. This could be, I think it's going to come down to two things. It's going to be staying alive. There'll be choose references in there. Also, that pit stop strategy, because it proved so crucial for Simon Ball in winning the Formula Fords earlier on.
It really did. Yeah, the pit stop is going to be crucial. We saw it. We had a driver, and it was Lorello, who ran and was leading Spec 2 and then got a speeding penalty on pit entry. And so dropped him from just outside the top 10 all the way down to mid-20s. You can't recover from it. So, yeah, the pit stop is going to be crucial. And you're right, the fuel, getting your fuel right, that 2 seconds extra that you may stop in pits to get that extra lap or so will be the difference between, winning your class and maybe fighting for the final podium position. It's going to be that close, this race. I'm just, looking at it, and there are just so many really good drivers in this field. Even the Spec 2 guys, Aaron Vagley, you talked about him earlier, he's 1.7K. A couple seasons ago, he was getting podiums in Spec 2. And so now he's sitting there in P27. So it's so the field has grown and has increased in driver quality as well. So it's going to be that much harder to be successful. You're going to have all your strategy right, and you're probably going to need a little bit of luck involved. With 50 cars on track, there are going to be some incidents, and there's not going to be much you can do. You just got to try to avoid it.
Yet to set times are Gaspers, Bertoni, Melhorn, Gianni Longin, and Rick Wishen, of which Melhorn and Wishen haven't taken to the track at all. 2 times deleted for Longin. 6 for, well, technically 7 because he stopped just short of the line for Bertoni, but that's no surprise from him. And 9 for Gaspers, although I get the feeling we all know what those two are up to.
Yeah,
how
I think
far
you're
up?
absolutely right.
I mean, I love a good last first challenge. You know I do. However, if you're going to roll the dice here, checker flag is, well, we'll miss that by about 30 seconds. Checker flag out in qualifying now. If you're going to try and do it, I mean, it's you're going to have a large minerals. Go on, access the Mexicans call, but to be able to do it at this circuit, because all it takes is one slight mistake heading up through the S's, and we've all seen the memes. We know what happens at Watkins Glen when someone gets it wrong through the S's. It's well, a cacophony and a symphony of chaos.
Indeed, yeah. The first lap in the S's is crucial. Any of those 2 wide battles through there, the tires aren't up to temp, and we've all seen it, right? You get one car into another one, they're into the guardrail, and then they're sideways, and then half the field is basically spare parts. So it's we've seen it. I've been involved in it a few times myself. And so it's just one of those that you have to watch out for. So if you're doing the last to first challenge, it's probably going to be you being very patient on lap 1, and just saying, okay, let's let everybody settle in, and then we'll make, obviously Bertoni is a good driver. Gasper obviously is a very, very good driver, multiple season champions. So he knows how to drive these cars and make them go fast. So it's just got to be a little patience and a little bit of luck.
Wow, that's done and dusted in qualifying by the looks of things. So we've still got about another 40 seconds left on the clock due to a couple of drivers still being out on track, or are they? Yeah, they're still doing tours, so although these laps won't count because the checker flag has been out for a little while here. There's one of them, Darren Kuhn. But the last driver to set a time, should we say anyway, and well, he will not start last, but last of the drivers who have set times. 48 cars setting times, further 5 that didn't, taking us up to what, 53, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Maths is correct. Of which 2 didn't actually make a lap of Watkins Glen. So, right, we'll get to find out very, very shortly as Kuhn heads into the pits. Who is, of those non-runners, non-qualifiers, is going to take to the grid, and well, who's going to ultimately walk away with the big prize, the victory here today from Watkins Glen Season 1. And well, after this round, we'll be taking a couple of weeks break, 3 weeks to be precise, before we return in the championship. But here is your grid for this evening. Jorg Marnie on pole, and look at that, managed the 3 different classes in the top 3. But Marnie's joined by Spec 2 driver John Schwartz on the front row. Row 2 is Chris Montgomery with Marco Panero. Great result from Montgomery there. Jason Perry has a less flavour of company on row 3. Row 4, a returnee, Naselli next to Jesus Rodriguez. Cabanca and Favini are going to round out your top 10. And row 5 on the grid. Row 6, well, Jason Green and Arthur Larorio, who, let's face it, that'd be normally good enough for pole in Spec 2 today. He's second in class. Row 7, that is Hugh Simpkins and Alan McCain. On row 8, it's Antonio Race and Evandro Dantas. Jess Fritcher is next to Ken Batley on row 9, while row 10 in your top 20 are completed by Maurice Finnison and Brad Cathcart. Then, row 11, an all-masters row, is Chris Murakami and Tom Gradwell. Stevie Ray has Chris Thorpe for company, another all-masters row, row 12. Row 13 is Sergio Girelli and newcomer Zhao Yi Lu. Interested to see how the American gets on tonight. Aaron Valogle and Paul Jackson line up next to each other in row 14. While row 15 in your top 30 are Tyler Brackenbury and Philip Berry. Kurt Nunes has fellow countryman John Young for company on row 16, while row 17 is Bradford Gould and Stephen Healy. Stephen Mitchell has Charlie Spink for company on row 18, apologies, while row 19 is Alan DeGassius and Charles Vaccaro. Jeff Jackson and Claudio Gardini take you up to 40th on row 20. While Tom Laurie, a bit disappointed from his qualifying. Didn't really qualify, didn't start the race in the Spec Racer Ford, so I can see him out tonight, but a bit disappointed by that. He starts next to Jeff Cantor. Adam Olek, another newcomer, he starts 43rd next to Adam Bradshaw on row 22, while row 23 is Jose Santiago and Michelle Vaglini. Michael Laratolo, there, Darren Kuhn are row, well, lots, I've lost track now. Meanwhile, top 50, 24, 25, there we go, is David Gaspers and Andres Mattoni, 2 drivers that did not set times, despite doing numerous laps in qualifying. And then we've got Rick Wishon and Gianni Lonkin. And then Matthias, oh no, there's been an incident already. Oh no, we said about the big one. Matthias Melhorn has not made the start. So Charlie Spink and Jeff Cantor involved in that one at least. Charlie Vaccaro to Adam Bradshaw. Oh no. Wow, I'm trying to look through the log. Who did that start with?
Spink and Cantor have already towed to the pits, I believe.
Well, Spink came off track. So this is on board with Andres Bertoni.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already oh dear.
This is exactly what we talked about, except at a much slower speed. So there wasn't as many cars, but obviously, that's what we're going to have to watch out for on lap 1. Going into the S's there is going to be very difficult to go too wide through there. They're going to have to be very, very cautious.
Well, for me, producer Josh, if you can find it through the event log, there's a Charlie Spink has come off track, and that seems to be the first one that starts it all off. So that's Bertoni. So it's already happening in the foreground. I can hear clunks and such like. There we go. He says he's found it. There we go. This should give us a bit of an inclination of exactly what has happened here. They all just had to check up suddenly and it's caught them all out. Yes, they have. Yep. There we go.
Yeah. The accordion effect. And so really wasn't really even Spink's fault. He just kind of had to check up, and the car behind didn't check up fast enough. It's basically what you would see on the freeway during rush hour. Just a sad way to start the race. But I guess fortunate that we only had just a couple of cars that were involved in the incident.
Charlie Vaccaro is making his way through the field, so the only thing I can think he's trying to do here is get ahead of everyone and get into the pits. He's getting a lot of places, 5 to be precise, so he's backing out of it now. I think he's just trying to find his order right now. However, Porsche 911 safety car will be pulling in any second now. Yogmani will control the pace. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to go racing for the first time this season as we are green and we are away. And Yogmani did not get the jump like we probably would expect to. Crash in the background, 2 cars caught up in that one and spin on the front ground too. I'm not sure who that was. Jason Perry possibly, he tumbles down through the order. Also, Charlie Vaccaro still caught up. Oh, there's more. Who's that? That's Jason Green.
Yep.
And I think Gianni Longin was the other car as well I saw there. They were different parts of the field. Not sure how they've all come together there. Wow, already drama as we head up the hill for the first time this evening towards the carousel. They're 2 wide, they're 3 wide. It's all happening here, folks. And in the foreground is Plaver to the lead on the outside. As the Cheshire driver tries to swoop down, but John Swartz holds that inside line for now, Charles. And everyone else just left to sort themselves out behind them. And this could go anywhere. Plaver on the attack once more.
Yeah, it's just, we had a couple of incidents there. I think there was a car on the inside in turn 1 that went 4 wide and just basically broke way too late and just carried the speed through. And then I think Green was, whoever he was battling with, kept trying to just push out, and I think just ended up basically pitting themselves on Green's front end. And so that was where the incident Green was involved in. So everybody else fairly unscathed. Obviously, lots of big movers already. Gasper's already at 21 positions from the start of the race.
Tony and Wishen are at 14, Longin's up 12. Maurice Funnison's up 12 into 7th, and Murakami's falling in through 2. He's up into 9th up 12, so Stevie Ray into 11th up 12 too. As Fritcher's now had a bit of an incident, it's all kicking off here, and producer Josh has found a replay for us to look at. Let's see what he's found for us. And amongst all the mayhem, so this is the opening lap. Oh, that was a send and a half. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that didn't work either.
What's that? That was the 16 machine.
Oh, no, then just not a great rejoin at all.
Yes, didn't go to plan that one at all. Well, meanwhile, lap 2 begins, and just a casual 2 loss of 3 wide down the back straight.
I'm going to say this because we just didn't catch it, but the 16 car is Marco Panero, our reigning champion. Just sent it deep into that corner, what they call the chute,
yes.
and then just basically collected the car. Just unlike Marco, he's aggressive, but he's a very safe driver. Obviously, to be a multiple championship winner, you have to be a very, very clean driver. That's a little bit out of character for him, just to be honest.
Well, Charles, I'm half one. He's not used to being out in front by himself. Just maybe
he is. That's true.
A bit further down through the field, caught up in those incidents, just a bit unawares almost. Being down in the midfield a little bit. Susan love the sound of race cars whizzing past. Meanwhile, the Kabanka moving through the field up into 2nd from 9th.
Yeah, he's having a good start to the race, obviously. Swartz up in front. Pleva's actually had a really good start to his race as well. York dropped a few spots from his P2, so he's down, from his pole position down to P5. But obviously he'll see if he can work that way back up. Just some new names in there, and I'm just still kind of watching the last to first guys. Gasper's in P24. He's up 25 positions already.
So only just 19. in comparison. Just 19. He's into 31st. Actually made that 20 as he's up to 30th now. As there goes Phil Berry. Oh, and there's a spinner. Who was that? Who's Simpkins? Well spotted, Charles. Well spotted.
I saw that change, and it's like, okay, so there's it looked like that's one of those that's, I don't know if he had help or not, but you get that spin on that outside curb in turn 1. The car wants to slide, then just loops you around.
See the pass on the grass there. I think that's Jesus Rodriguez in the background. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was further down. I think it might have been Sergio Dorelli actually. Trying to get the move done there. Yes, it was the 86 machine of Sergio Dorelli. McCain made contact. He's collected not 1, 1, 2. Oh, and there's bigger incident.
Still wrecking. Oh, still here crashing.
Wow. Oh yeah. Wow. You know it's going wild when you watch the ticker for the incident reports we have in our live timing software. Just see it just go berserk and just roll around like a fruit machine where you've just pressed the button. The producer Josh just going, no, I can't catch that. I can't keep up with it, trying to even identify where that's happened. As he digs through it to find it now. But I tell you what, it's not the battle of the Glen. It's an absolute war of attrition. So there's Alan DeGassis. He's been involved in an incident.
He got 2 cars up in front. Yep, McCain.
Oh wow!
They're still wrecking, and they just pile in. That's what we were talking about for the S's, and it happened in the chute that time. We're coming out of the chute.
Producer Josh, just I tell you what, that onboard just really showcasing exactly what it was like down in the midfield. But this is. It's you know, we're nearly Christmas, Charles. It's like someone's brought a snow globe out and just shook it. You can watch all the little pieces descend, and that seems to be where they're settling down on the base of the snow globe is where they are position-wise now. We've got up 29, 33. We've got down 27 and 33 positions. It's all happening, and we've got a free wide up front for the lead. Marnie Kabanka Schwartz. Claver getting involved too. Jesus Rodriguez, don't discredit him. And York Marnie, actually Charlie Spink, the only 2 that haven't changed positions. Spink down in 36th, Marnie leading.
Yeah, it's just, we saw this earlier in the Formula Ford races. We got this this nice little group of 5 cars up front, and what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up just getting these nice big drafts. The Formula Ford has a good draft, but these cars are insane in the tow. You may gain a second lap if you time it right and you're behind a car that's pretty close to equal pace with you. You can gain so much time in the draft here with these cars, and so we'll see a lot more of this as the race goes on. And we're only 8 minutes into this race, and it's already feels like it's been 30.
Is that all it is? 8? Wow. Well, no, it's not even 8, is it? Look. A few seconds in change away from being 8. There's Jeff Jacobson in the 40 machine. He's up 26. Having started 39th for the grid, he now finds himself 13th, up 7 places in Class 2 to boot. The 2 Leicester first guys of Gaspers and Bertoni. Gaspers in 16th at 33, up 13th for Bertoni into 20th. Jose Santiago doing well at 22. Rick Wishon up 26. Retirement so far. Naselli, Montgomery, Olek, Vogelate in the pits. Looks lucky of seeing him again. Chris Thorpe has stopped moving too. So, other than Panero, all those guys retiring on lap 2.
Yeah, you gotta hate it for Montgomery. He started row 2. And is already out of the race. It's just, you know, that I'm sure that was not what he was envisioning. Thinking, you know, if I'm in row 2, I'm thinking, oh, I'm in front of all of the chaos, but just apparently not.
Oh, apparently not. Apparently not. Marnie fastest lap of the race last time around as he drops down to 4th place. I tell you what, I'm glad that the group behind are just about in contact, because they've got a 5-way fight that's being led by Stevie Ray I thought the T-shoes looked ready, Stevie, for the nosebleed from being so high up. I'm sure you won't mind me saying that one at all. But, I mean, I tell you what, it's really, really shaken things up here, hasn't it? And we've got some
somewhere.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I was looking at Lou and I'm trying to see who else was, but I know Lou, I think Jacobson might have been involved in it as well. I know there's 2 or 3 cars that just kind of dropped down the order several positions.
Josh has got us. He's found. He's asked for it, Charles. He's found it. Here we go. So there's Jacobson in the 40. Center of screen. The tag, yeah.
Yeah.
Cathcart, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. I know Lou was, I think, involved in that as well. The 95,
yeah.
You see him in front of the screen, in front screen there. Yeah, it's just, you know, that corner, it's got a lot of grip. It's got a lot of camber in it. But you can obviously overcook it, and that's kind of what it looked like happened for that inside car that time.
But it tightens up on exit, doesn't it, the chutes?
It really
I think
does.
that's what catches a lot of people. And also, the track seems to narrow as well. There's a definitive pinch point, and it feels like you can throw a lot more speed into it than what you actually truly can. Having said that, if you've driven the Mercedes W12 around here, it's an absolute joy to behold around this circuit. That thing has an insane amount of grip that just breaks everything else you drive on the surface in comparison. Meanwhile, Marnie back up to the lead. Jesus Rodriguez leads that chasing group. They're 3 seconds behind. They seem to be a little bit more organised. It feels to me like they're working together, and if they do so, then they will catch this group. And in fact, they've taken already about a 10.5, 2 tenths, maybe even 3 actually now, 4 tenths out of this group. So I tell you what, it's working. It's working.
And here's the reason why. You see the 2 wide into the corners, and that slows both those cars down, so they'll lose a bit of time to the car in front, which they'll make back up in the draft. And it brings those cars in the back that much closer. But every time they do that, especially if it's for the lead, then it just brings that second group that much closer to them, and it goes from a 5-car group to a 10-car group, and then it doubles the number of cars and then quadruples the risk factor.
Also quadruples the excitement factor for us up here in the commentary room as it all starts to kick off. And well, we're 12 minutes, Charles. Let's sit rep what has happened so far, other than chaos, excitement, and drama in absolute abundance. Marnie leads overall and Masters. Plaver, Kabanka, Schwartz is your podium in Spec 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th overall. Rodriguez part of that group 2. Then we've got Drilling Murakami. Oh, a cloud on the wall on the outside there for Andreas Mazzoni as he hunts down Claudio Gardini. Stevie Ray has... Oh, he's coming to the pits. I know you like to stop early, Stevie, but just stay in the fight, my friend. Stay in there. What we wanted to see.
Yeah, you know the pit window's open because Stevie is in the pits now. He's always our undercut specialist. So that does reduce that second group by 1 car. But as we can see, there's a couple other cars and there's another little group behind them. And as these cars, as they're going into the carousel, they just kind of stagger themselves out and see if there's a place to make a move, and not this time.
Maurice Ferguson leads as there goes Battoni up the inside of Cathcart and Gardini, although doesn't quite get Cathcart this time. Ferguson leads Spec 2, he's 7th overall. Then we've got Brackenbury and Berry, who are 2nd and 3rd respectively for those 2. Masters, as mentioned, Marnie, he's in that podium position that's in a moment overall, leading class. Murakami 2nd, he's 8th, but 13 spots, and 3rd of 18 is Kurt Nunez. To have him back in the podium spots on Kurt. To look back from Ferguson. 2.5k iRacing. Yeah, great to see him not just up there, but being competitive as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, I think, bear with me, Charles, I'll come back to you on this one. I think, in my history of the series, this could well be his first... Oh, no, I think he's been on the podium before, but I think this could not be his first win. I'll come back to you on that
you
one.
may be right. I think you may be right on that. Oh yeah, I was just looking at our last to first guys. Gasper's up to P11. He's pitting now, so he's also going to try that undercut move. But he was up 38 positions at the start of that. That looks like he maybe has a little bit of damage. Yeah, on the right front there. So probably a good idea to just come in and go ahead and get his fast repair and fuel up and get back on track. Obviously, he's kind of worked his way through the field again, or worked his way through the field once. So working through it again to just keep his fast laps. Probably not that big of a deal to him. He just got to be very careful.
The reason why you won't remember it, Funnison won Alton Park round 10 last season, which you weren't here for, were you?
Which I missed, yes, unfortunately.
So that's why you don't remember it, and bad on me for not remembering myself. But that's why we've got plenty of notes.
That's right.
To keep the stats coming, that's for sure. So there goes Cathcart and Nunes out of the pits. They're going to come out into a group involving Jason Green, Jason Perry, and Andrea Favini, who all caused up in earlier incidents. And by the looks of things, probably all going to have to stop again as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
Perry and Favini lap 3. Could be close.
Yeah, it would be very close. But if we see Green working his way on the outside there.
Yes, working along with Cathcart to get the move done on Nunes. Get clear of this group. Next car up the road from those, Jeff Fritcher, who's 7 seconds up the road too. He's with David Gaspers, no less. He's dropped to 27th after his pit stop. So Ray, actually, yeah, that undercut definitely working. He's come out on Taylor Gaspers. He was on track though before the pit stops, but I think that gap has closed up. But it's about 5 seconds between Gaspers and Ray.
Yeah, I was looking at Stevie Ray's his pit stoppage time was 14 seconds. Gaspers was 15.2. So Stevie, I'm going to say probably had a pretty good handle on how much fuel he's going to need for the rest of the race. So that may be our benchmark as the leaders come in as to how much fuel they're going to need to onboard to finish this race.
A lot of early pit stoppers here today, Charles. Look at that. Lorio, Tony, Santiago, Berry, Jason Gardini all in. I do wonder if this is where, from quite a few of them, maybe carrying damage, have tried to okay, let's just get settled into the race here, and then gain a few places through other people's incidents, get some track position, then come in and fix some of this damage that I've got. Of course, all the drivers do have one fast repair available to their name.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's probably the right call. Obviously there's been a lot of contact on the track during this race. So yeah, they were probably carrying some aero damage. Probably not wheel damage, but definitely aero damage. It's just not letting them set their fastest laps. So they just kind of rode it out till they were comfortable in the pit window, come in and take their stop, get the fast repair, and hopefully they can avoid any further contact for the rest of the race.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for them. Jason Perry having a little bit of a hard time right now. You see the power of the slipstreams for Vini and Nunes just compress that gap. Meanwhile, just ahead of them, that is Green, still trying to find his way past Brad Cathcart. Interesting. Can't quite get it done though. But they have closed that gap up. So from everyone pitting, that means Phil Berry only 2 seconds at the road. You can see in the foreground a shot there as they head round the corner.
Yes. Obviously, I think Green's going to stop at the end. So I think he's going to have to do a better spot for sure. But there was a bit of a, obviously you said lap 3. I think there's a couple of cars there that stopped on lap 3.
Yeah, Perry and Favini.
Yeah, may be able to stretch it. But they only took on board about 10.3 seconds of fuel. So they may not have taken enough based on what I'm seeing for the rest of the stoppers. That might be a little short, so they may be coming in again as well.
Schwartz has dropped to the back of this group. I mean, part of me is surprised by it, then equal terms, it's like, maybe that's the strat here. You know, we saw it earlier on. You know, we alluded to it with the way the ball won earlier on in the Formula 4's Charles over the ball. However, you know, with this group, you know, seeming relatively organised generally, maybe I'm surprised no one's gone right. I'm just going to sit at the back of this, just coast along, slipstream, and fuel save my way, because ball came out about 2.5 seconds ahead of anyone else, and that was deep into the race with about 10 minutes remaining. And I think that potentially, you know, that could be the strategy here to come out with victory as well. Jesus Rodriguez having to lock up there before running into the back of Cabanca.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably what Sports is thinking. Is like, you know what? I don't know that I've got the speed to get up there and battle the lead. So let me just stay back here and just ride around and save fuel where I can. Maybe I can jump them when we do the pit stop. I think it's as good a strategy as any at this point. We'll see how it goes. You know, it looks like these guys have finally kind of settled down from the start of the race. Is that, you know what? I don't think we want to do a lot of battling right now. Monty's up in the lead. Puebla, Cabanca, Rodriguez just kind of hanging in there. As the gaps kind of stretch out a little bit, but obviously once we get up to the back straight, then those will tighten back down again, and we'll see if anybody's willing to stick their nose out and make another move, as we see this running by Puebla here. Yep.
Yeah, this Puebla's turn to be the sitting duck as everyone just sails on past Cabanca, Marnie pulling out late though.
Marnie, we have a little lane switch there. It's like, if I can get that room position back, but no such luck. So Cabanca in the lead, Puebla in second. And we talked about this earlier in the first race too. That car that's in third position seems like they get the better run of this group. So you saw Cabanca go from third to first, Monty from first to third. And so, you know, if it holds true to form, if none of these guys pit this lap, we may see that just reverse itself again next lap.
Yeah, it's and unlike in the first race though, they are getting away from Dorelli and co behind. Dorelli, Dantas and Funnison all involved. Actually, yes they are, yes, apologies, me having a bit of a moment there. Although Funnison actually running a little bit of a group by himself. Meanwhile, back to this Lurio, Perry, Green, Berry, Favini, little battle. Nunes not too far off as well, all fighting it away over 24th position right now of these guys. But we've got a crashing coming, I believe. Let's take a look at the replay. Let's see exactly what's happened and to who. Here we go, Charles. They've got Charlie Ficarra in the background, Brad Cathcart foreground.
Ooh, yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
that's you know, we talked about those outside curbs and the rumble strips, and just looked like that Cathcart just kind of looped the car. Maybe just you know, instead of taking that off track, which you could do there, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to try and hold it and save my X, and it didn't quite work out.
Well, this is the thing with so many, you know, bumps and bangs that have happened early on. Going to be a few drivers thinking about this. Do you know what? I need to try and save some of these X's for later on in the race, because there's going to be a few drivers running a little bit close to that instant point limit, invoking the drive-through penalty, which will completely destroy their race.
Yep, for sure.
But then you could argue, well, for the sake of, you know, having to take that, it's better than crashing out. But at least you can finish nowhere.
Yeah, so yeah, instead of me getting the 1X there, I just took a 4X because I got ran into, so I spun the car. So that might have went from 1X to 6X, depending on how iRacing scored it.
Well, that's another valid point, isn't it? It's just on board with Schwartz as he has a look at the inside here and gets the move done on Jesus Rodriguez. Lovely little move into the heel there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See that Stevie Ray is up P21.
It's Jeff Fritcher he's battling with, who has pitted, but on the opening lap, so not a true fair fight. They have David Gaspers leading their group, though, which is interesting. I mean, he hasn't managed to, despite his pace and his clear ability, hasn't managed to get away from these guys.
No, but he was about 2 seconds behind them about 3 laps ago, so he's worked his way past all of them. I've kind of been watching him and Stevie just to see, you know, what kind of pace Gaspers has got, and he's basically running the same pace as the lead pack. And these guys are just a bit off of that, maybe half, you know, to 3/4 of a second. So David's obviously got it full.
Oh, race gone. Oh, nearly collects Bertoni. I heard a car tyre screeching, and it was Ray losing the rear end of his car. That's gutting because he's having a really, really good run here tonight. Wishen, Bradshaw, Longin, Kuhn, Spink, all into the pits. That means that our top 13, the cars that are yet to start. So what happened though?
Yeah, coming down here into the hill. Thing looks good there. I think based on what I saw, it was like this. Oh, he's in the grass there. He catches that. So this is the corner that I think is the mistake is. Yeah, it just lets the rear end get a little loose. Couldn't save the car, and that's probably, as far as just running a hot lap, that's probably the most difficult corner on the track. Obviously, you know, as we talked about earlier, it's a very tight corner that feels like it gets tighter on exit because you've got walls on both sides. And it's just because of the way the corner's cambered, because of the joins in the track, it just makes it that much more difficult, and it's just really easy to lose the car there.
Green now ahead of Perry. This is your battle for 17th place. Not forgetting that Green will need to stop again in this race. Having stopped on lap 1. But having a bit of fun out there for Jason Green at this stage of the race. Marnie in, and nobody came with him, Charles. Dantas comes in for the second group.
Now there was a little bit of gap between those two cars.
About 4 seconds.
As we got, so Thunison, Murakami, Brackenberry are all coming in as well. So if everybody runs similar pit stops, then Monty should come out a couple or 3 seconds ahead. But he'll be by himself. But it's going to be up to those cars behind to see if they can catch him, and it's going to be up to Monty to just run hot laps as fast as he can go. Because if any of those cars up front come in together, we saw it earlier that it's much easier to come in as a group than it is as a single driver, and it's much quicker.
15 seconds, like just shy of by 300ths of a second, so 14.97 for Marnie to be precise. 13.15 for Evandro Dantas. It's then Murakami at 13.77, so a big difference between those drivers. Big difference. Since the pits there is Jackson, Healy, Green and Perry. Also Jeff Fritcher will need to stop again. He's currently running 9th overall, having stopped on lap 1.
So just looking at it, it's Gaspers has made up quite a bit of ground on that other group as I'm looking at it. So but to go back to what we were saying, is Dantas made up about 1.5 seconds in the pits, which helped him close the gap up, but there's still 2.5 second gap ahead to Monty. So Monty's basically just at, there's nobody in front of him. So he's just got, like I said, just run as fast a lap as he can solo, and see where it all ends up as the rest of the sports stayed out.
Yeah, everyone else in. And he had been sat at the back of that, towards the back of that pack, hadn't he, for a little while. Which equally surprised me about Rodriguez, although he may have thought, you know what, I'm going to come in with everyone else and, safety in numbers a little bit here. Whereas Schwartz goes in alone. Will he have any lap traffic to come across? Well, most likely not. Tom Laurie would be next on track in 15th. However, he's about 1/10 of the track ahead of Schwartz. So around about about 8 seconds or so, I'd say. So he should be pretty much safe on that one as everyone gets going again. And, that's going to change around a little bit. It looks like Rodriguez first out the pits. And Dorelli now finds himself onto the back of this group too, having not been.
Yeah, great run by Dorelli. We haven't really talked about him very much, but obviously he's a veteran of this series. Returning, he's up 19 positions, up to P6. So obviously having a very good day.
He is. He is. It's worked for him. I mean, he had stopped. Well, comparing to Marnie, it's a good couple of 1.5 seconds less than Marnie. Though Marnie still finds himself in this group, so it just shows what an outlap Marnie must have had to still remain in the fight with this group. But what is Schwartz doing? That's the killer question. Has he got this one right? And has he managed to overcut absolutely everyone? He's a quarter of a lap ahead.
I think we're going to find out this lap. So, 30 minutes into the race, I think this is bingo fuel, as they would say. So I think he's going to have to come in. But yeah, I think he did a good job of fuel saving. He was able to extend his the first part of the race by a lap or so. And we'll see if it worked out for him.
Here we go. That's someone slowing to come into the pits. John Schwartz, your leader, in. Nice, he stopped to get it down to the speed limit of the pit lane. But is it going to have been enough to come out in first place? There's Jesus Rodriguez currently lining in second. So they're just going to run the penultimate corner now. He's got a 1.75 advantage, though, over Plaver, Marnie, and Kabanka. They're going to have to work together to close up this gap. Still stationary is Schwartz. Still stationary. You can see him bottom left-hand side of your screen. And he's only just heading out now. Is that going to be enough? I don't think it is. No, Jesus Rodriguez will come out in front. Or will he look to driver's left? On board with Schwartz. Where is he? He's there somewhere. There he is. And it's just enough. But Rodriguez with the momentum needs to make it count now. If he wants to take the lead, he moves left, he moves right. But he's had it to slow up here. Will he push Schwartz? Yes, he will, as they look to get away from this chasing pack.
Oh, that was a smart move by Rodriguez. And you see the cars 3 wide behind, still jockeying for that lead of that pack. And it's just this guys out front it's going to extend that gap just that much more.
I mean, surely the only way they're going to do this is to engage a freeway push and push each other down that back straightaway if they want to stand any chance of this. But they're running out of time, aren't they? Over a 2-minute lap here. You've only probably got, what, 3 laps remaining? 4 tops?
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. And yeah, they've got to at least work together to make up that 1.5 gap up to that lead group if they want to have a chance to battle for the win. They've got to just work together a little bit to make it up. Yeah, a three card bump draft would be very, very helpful to them, because it looks like those 2 guys in front say, you know what, we're gonna check out, and then we'll settle it on the last lap between us.
2 seconds to your advantage, so that has grown. This time last lap it was 1.75 between Rodriguez and the chasing group. Kabanka really pushing in there just so far. He runs wide with a double down of the brakes down into the final corner. Here we go. Well, how do they fight this? I mean, if they don't, this could become a 4-way fight for that last place on the podium overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. So yeah, they've got to, Monty, if he can get a good run, looks like he's got a pretty good run coming out of 1. Get this draft up through the S's. He just needs to basically attach himself to the rear bumper of Kabanka, but no, he's making the move for the pass.
Well, I think with Kabanka, but you just tuck in now and then start pushing.
Yep, exactly right. That's it.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't.
But meanwhile, up front, those 2, I saw them. I just caught a glimpse in the corner of my eye, are pushing one another.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the difference here. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to to make up that time. Otherwise, that gap is still just continuing to grow a little bit at a time each lap as these guys continue to battle over the final step of the podium overall.
Wow. That makes it a four-way fight for third place. That stop spec 2 after the round of pit stops. Tyler Brackenbury leads that one. Phil Berry second. Arthur Lavorio in third in class right now. So that's looking like a solid result there. Maurice Funnison, he had led that group, hadn't he? So what happened? What? And he was running very, very high. Had a normal pit stop, so something's happened to him. Because he's fallen all the way to 33rd. So he's down 40 spots from even where he started.
Yeah, he was a couple seconds slower on the pit stoppage time, but he was another couple of seconds added to that overall from cone to cone. So that dropped him 4 seconds to the rest of that group, and that might have been the differences with this field as tight as it is. So I'd say that's at least part of it.
He's
but
37 seconds behind Brackenbury.
Yeah,
who he was about 5 seconds clear of. So, something's happened to him there. It's a big gutting for him. There's producer Josh just looking through the log there, event log of all the overtakes and off tracks and crashes, and nothing appears to have happened to him whatsoever. So, a strange one, that. Strange one. Well, there you go. They're pushing up front, aren't they? That confirms it. If you weren't wholly sure on what we're saying, that is fully just confirmed it.
Yeah. These cars, the way they're designed, they just make them so easy. They can just basically just lock in to the rear of the car in front, and when you get those two cars together like that, they actually go faster because the second car doesn't have that arrow on front, doesn't have that wind that's got to push, and so two cars go faster than one, and that's a prime example of what we're seeing. The two cars up front lock themselves together down the straight. The two cars behind is now a group of 4 because they just keep swapping positions and making passes to try and get to the lead of the group. You see Dorelli just kind of back off a little bit there. Decided not to make a move down to the inside there of the hill.
2.3 seconds the gap now, though. Although they've just gained a couple 2-3 tenths on them. And looking at this as well, they're going to incur any traffic. Well, next up's going to be Tom Laurie, who they will come across. So actually, our leader's pretty much on to him now. So they'll blaze past him. There's Laurie in foreground, a shot. So they'll pass him comfortably down the back straightaway.
Yeah, there's a little bump from Dorelli.
He needs a bit more than a little bump, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, those 4 cars need to actually get together and just lock themselves. And we now Dorelli making the move to the inside. I think he got a good run out of turn 1.
But if you look, it's these two working together,
Oh no!
Oh, there's been a smash. I think that's the cars behind us.
It was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plaver's gone and Kabanka have gone.
I'm wondering if that was easy.
Okay. He's turned the car around in a very dangerous part of the track, but manages to do it. But there's a broken front left, and possibly crabbing for him. By comes Andreas Bertoni up 43 spots into 7th. Hello. Yeah,
I mean that's not quite to first, but I mean that's as good a run as we've seen. I don't know. I'm listening to the drivers talking over the radio, and I think Jorg said he took the blame for that. But I'm wondering if it maybe tried to. The one thing you can't do is bump draft through a corner. So I'm wondering if that maybe is what happened. We see them side by side in the S's. Yeah. I think Monty had such a good run. He tried to move over, and there was just no place for him to go.
I mean, it's on board with Marnie. Yeah, means that thinks he's further back than what he actually is. Frustrating.
It is very frustrating, and I'm sure it's frustrating for Pleva, who had a really good run going for that race. Obviously, was looking to get on the podium there as we see the white flag for the final lap.
Well, similar things down for third place. Really looking comfortable for that one. Meanwhile, they're catching Tom Laurie this time around. That's going to help out Schwartz, who currently leads Jesus Rodriguez, who needs to find something. But he'll have the double draft, not only from Laurie, but from Schwartz too. And this is your time to shine, Jesus Rodriguez. You need to pull something out of the bag. It leaves it to the last second of pulling out, and they go 3 wide. Laurie, the innocent bystander, who will back out of this one round the outside. Jesus Rodriguez for the lead, and he can't quite do it as they both drift up. And the lovely switchback from Schwartzman.
Oh, what a great switchback.
Oh, that was beautiful there. But he's still alongside him, Charles. I'm not sure he's going to quite get this one done.
No, but he'll have the inside for the next corner if he could just stay even with him. This may be where he can seal it right here. It's hard to stay together here on the outside of this corner. Yep. So nice move. He just hung it, kept hanging around there, and was able to finally pull it off. It took him a few corners to do it, but he was able to.
Charles, it's not
and
done
fighting
because
back.
Strauss got the cutback on Rodriguez, and now they're side by side yet again as we've got 4 corners left. There's one of them, and well, getting quick hands there from Jesus Rodriguez to keep control of the car. He's got the inside though for the next 2 corners. There's one of them, and Schwartz looking for the cutback. Look left, look right. Rodriguez defensive to the inside, but if Schwartz can hang it around the outside here, an impossible place to park. Then he'll have the inside into the final corner. Here we go. But Rodriguez is going to have the undercut. They're going to be side by side on the race to the line. It's as close as you like. Who's going to get it? Side by side still. And I think it's Schwartz. Just, yes, it is by 0.04 of a second.
Oh, what a great battle on the last lap.
Wow. They spent the entirety of that lap pretty much side by side at one stage or another. And if they weren't, they were just using it to get the cut back on the other.
It was fantastic driving by both drivers. I mean, you're exactly right. You get a good run and you try and hold it, and you just be patient, stay together side by side. They didn't make any contact. And then they started with the switchbacks, and it was just one after the other. It was fantastic racing.
We're not done and dusted though. There's Santiago and Gardini to the line, with Santiago coming out on top into 15th. Still bars are plenty here. 3 temps covering Fritcher, Gradwell, Wishen and Healy. Antonio Race, he's going to be disappointed with that one. 23rd. 25th for Jason Green. Gaspers didn't come alive after the pit stop, so he only gained the 37 places to finish 12. Whereas compared to Bertoni's 43 places into 7th.
Yeah, so their Bertoni Hard Charger Award actually goes to Bertoni today. 43 positions gained. Yeah, you know. There were some good tries by some other drivers. Santiago obviously up 30 positions. You know, it's just great racing. But you know, Bertoni does what he does, and you know, this time it's paid off in with a great result, P7.
Sergio Dorelli up 22 spots to finish 3rd.
I mean, that was just a great race by him. It was very smart racing. He didn't really put a foot wrong the entire race.
Rick Wishen up 31 into 20th. In fact, he officially started dead last because we didn't have... Oh, no, it would have been 52nd he would have started last because Matthias Melhorn did not make the start. So we had 52 cars start the race today. Finish it? Well, there's only... it's hard to tell now because people still run. I'd say only 40 finishing today. We've lost Pleva, Kabanka, Jakeson, Cathcart, Vaccaro, Vaglini, Fort, Vogle, Olek, Montgomery, Maselli and Panero. actually have a look at some results, and then we might have a chat to some drivers by the time they get in. Was they all crossed the line? I think they have. Yes, they have. No, that's quality results. And maybe they haven't. No, they have. There we go. Confirmation for you. 400s at the line between Schwartz and Rodriguez. Girelli, as we mentioned, 22 spots there. Ran at that podium. Marnie walks away with Masters victory in 4th. Then Dantas Murakami, 2nd place in class. Tyler Brackenbury, congratulations on the win for you. Great way to kickstart your season, Inspector. Lario in 9th, 2nd in class. Nunes going to round out the top 10 and that Masters podium with Phil Berry 11th, but 3rd in class. Ray, Gold, Santiago, Gardini, Jackson, Pritchard in 18th place. Then it was Gradwell, Wishing to run out top 20. And then we've got Stephen Healy, 21st with Perry, Grace, Batley, Green, Furnison. Disappointing for him because he led Spec 2 a long time. And I'm not too sure what happened to him to finish 26th and what was he, 9th in class in the end. Jeff Cantor was 27th, then Bradshaw, Favini and Young to take him to 30th place. Then Longin, Kuhn, Mitchell, Spink, Vigasius, Atoro, Simpkins, last driver on the lead lap in 37th. 1 lap down was Kabanka and Plaver and Laurie. Then Lou, McCain, 2 laps down apiece. Jeff Jacobson, 3 laps down, then fully into retirement. Now, Brad Cathcart, we lost him on lap 10. Beccaro on lap 9. Vaglini on lap 7. Lap 3 was 4. Lap 2, Vogele, Olek, Montgomery, and Naselli. Panera on the opening lap, and Matthias Malhorn did not make the start. Right, let's have a bit of a chat to some drivers, shall we? And first off, let's speak to our race victor here today, John Schwartz. John, congratulations. I mean, what a final lap. What a final lap.
First of all, thank you for the broadcast. I'm so excited to check it out. But yeah, I mean, I don't race these cars. I literally have started this series like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I really enjoyed the quality of racing, just the fact it's close and stuff. I've done a little bit of MX5, but this is not my wheelhouse at all. I've done a bit of road, but wow, that was a huge surprise. Even from qualifying, I thought I had no pace. I got a bit lucky with a little bit of draft, but front row surprised me. And at many tracks, I'd be happy, but here you're just going to get freight trained from behind as soon as you get onto the back straight, and that's what happened. I just tried to defend on lap 1 and was able to stay with the lead pack. So after then on, just tried to save fuel as best as I could since I knew pit stops were going to be crucial here. So staying in that 5th place or so position, and I mean, the pace was just falling off, but I really respected everyone up ahead just for really working together. If he kept battling, the guys behind would have started to catch up, which probably would have been more entertaining for you guys, but it was a little less stressful for me. But then that final pit stop came out right next to Jesus in the 76, and he was pushing me, doing a really good job keeping 3rd place from catching up, and then that final lap he went for it, and that was just a blast, trying to make those crossovers work. And whether I end up getting 1st or 2nd there, I really wouldn't have been too upset, but to get the win, that's just icing on the cake. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, 400 to the second at the line. What do you normally drive then, John? Do you mind me asking?
Yeah, so I race a lot of F4. So, I mean, I guess there may be some similarities, but, I mean, that thing has so much more downforce. It's not too fast, but, yeah, a lot of F4, occasional MX5. I like to do GTP occasionally just for the special events, but, yeah, I've just gotten into road a bit, done some leagues, and, yeah, I really like these guys. I think there was a lot more action behind me than in front, but, yeah, so hope to have some more good finishes in the future.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back again soon. Congratulations, victory on his debut there, John Schwartz. Congratulations to you.
And one last thing, I just want to give a shout out to Aerokinetics and High Free Racing, since I've been racing with them on some events, and they're awesome. So big shout out to those guys.
No problem. No problem at all. Congratulations, John. I'll see you in a few weeks at time. Your Marnie up next, Charles.
Yeah, Jorg, congratulations on your Masters class win. I guess the thing we want to talk about probably is a couple of laps there before the finish. the battle that you had with that group, Dorelli and Pleva, and I'm trying to remember the other car, but I'm sure it didn't go I'm sure it didn't go the way you wanted it to, for sure.
No, that was all my fault. I have to apologize officially to Alice. That was all my fault.
Yeah, and Kabaka was the other. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
No, that was really all my fault, and I hate doing things like that. But even I do things like that sometimes. But I apologize to Alice.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we like about this series is just how friendly the competition is, how clean the racing is, but mistakes happen. So, it's obviously, it's great to hear, when a driver owns up to a mistake. And otherwise though, fantastic racing from front to back. A lot of carnage early, I think mainly behind you.
I have not even seen them in the back mirror, but yep, I've heard my colleagues on the chat that there was a big one, there's a big one, there's a big one, and I thought, okay, not good, but yeah, but I'm a bit disappointed in myself with all this. I'm gonna write to him afterwards again. I did already, but I apologize one more time to him.
Yeah, understood. So, Jorg, congratulations. And we'll see you in a few weeks. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, thank you guys, to you as well, and a happy new year as well already in advance.
Next up, we've got our winner in Spec 2, Tyler Brackenbury. Congratulations! I mean, not just the win, up an incredible 21 spots here today.
Yeah, it was. I was just telling John in the waiting room. I really got lucky. I avoided the big one right to my outside coming downhill into 6. Really got fortunate. That actually gave me some breathing room to focus on what was ahead of me. But luckily I have some good experience here at the Glen and felt comfortable. This was, I guess, really my first full season here with you guys, and joined about halfway through last time around, and got comfortable with the guys here and gals, really a fun group of guys, and just had a blast out there.
Well, it definitely seemed that way. Seemed to be quite a bit, pit stops were so crucial here today. Just looking at yours, I mean, I'm pretty sort of like average of everyone else around you, but I mean, what sort of do you think really sort of, obviously missing the big incident that you mentioned about, what else do you think helped to contribute to the result today?
Well, really just, I think understanding the power of the draft in this car, when to fight for position, but when to just stay in line and keep this good thing going. Got fortunate with some incidents ahead of me, like you guys said, really helped catapult me up. But a bunch of teamwork. But again, I think understanding the track and the car, it certainly helps. Throw in a little bit of fuel calculation in the middle of this train, and man, what a fun way to spend the day.
Well, definitely can't argue with that one whatsoever. I mean, look at it, you're at 21 spots. You finished in 8th. Makes up the number of your cars. Maybe it's just sort of, you use number 281. There's 2, 8, and 1 in that as well. Maybe it's all just aligning for you of what's going to be a great season, hopefully, for you. I mean, some crazy tracks coming up. I mean, we've got Belle Isle, Tsukuba, New Hampshire on the Roval there, a circuit that I'm going to have to buy because I've never commentated there before, let alone, I think, the Roval. I think I saw a video ages ago. I think it's only been used once or twice in iRacing officials. Is there any tracks you're not particularly looking forward to this season, or ones you're definitely looking forward to?
No, I think they're all going to be a fun time. I family grew up in Michigan, so I have some familiarity with Belle Isle as well. I'm looking forward to that. I got excited when I saw on the schedule, but bring it on, man! It's gonna be a fun season, and I can't wait to be here for all of it.
Definitely, we'll look very much forward to seeing you. Congratulations, great way to start the season, Tyler Brackenbury, your winner in Spec 2 there. That's all we've got time for today. So a couple of minutes over. Not too bad. Actually, no, we're 13 minutes over, apologies. It's just been the mayhem. I don't know where it's quite gone, Charles Michel.
I'm not sure either, but I hope everybody out there has a happy holidays.
Well, we've got 3 weeks to get over this one, although sadly, no reason the race next week because it's Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve the week after, so we'll be back in 3 weeks' time on the 7th. We'll be live from Mosport in Canada. Make sure you join us then. But from myself, Tim Cox, Charles Shell, and Josh Wilkie, have a great Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.